Hello everyone, I'm glad to be back with you again with another terrific Tuesday card. My name is Sherry Minnie. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Keensburg, Colorado. We're about 45 minutes northeast of Denver. Pardon me. Today I'm going to have another card that I don't think it'll take us too long. It is a masculine card, and it is one that I will be featuring in my upcoming Stamp-A-Stack at the end of the month. So it's green and blues, very masculine colors, and it's just a birthday card and kind of simple and not a whole lot of supplies needed or a lot of stamping to do. The stamp set we're using is just one. It's called Simply Said, and I'm using the Birthday Wishes and Let's Celebrate out of this. Our ink, we only have one ink pad today, and it is Mossy Meadow. We're also featuring some 6x6 Designer Series paper. This is in the 25-26 annual catalog. It's called Timeless Plaid. It is 6x6, and here's the pattern I'm using today, but it has a lot of really nice plaids in different colors that are definitely masculine, but there are a few in here that could be for the ladies too, and if you're like me, I do love a good plaid. So this is a very fun paper, and I've used it, a lot of it. We're also going to be using the 3D embossing folder called Forever Plaid to kind of tie in the Designer Series paper that we're using today. And we're using a punch. It's called Labeled with Love, and this is available in a punch or a set of 3 dies, and I think it's still available. I just got notice this morning that they updated their last chance list, and I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but even if it's on last chance, it's still available until such time as they actually discontinue it. I use this a lot. It's a very versatile punch, and I do love a punch. And I'm just using some retired embellishments, trying to use up my stash. You could use any embellishment that in the correct colorway and kind of on the masculine side, and there are lots of those in the new catalog. So to get started, we have an envelope. You'll have a Mossy Meadow card base. This is 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4 as usual and folded in the middle. You have a piece of, not Mossy Meadow, Lost Lagoon. It is 4 by 5 1/4. You'll have a piece of Basic White for your inside layer, and this is 3 3/4 by 5. You'll have a piece of Old Olive, and actually this measures 2 by 5 1/4, and this is what I chose to run through the embossing folder. I just realized I didn't turn my lights on. I'm going to turn them on, see if it helps. Sometimes it causes more shadows, but I guess it might make this a little lighter. Sorry, I forgot about that. It's so bright in my room here that I don't think about it till I look at my screen on my laptop and think, oh wow, that's dark. There, that's better. So here is the embossing folder that we used. You'll have a scrap of Designer Series paper. You could use whatever pattern you want. I just chose this to be in the right colorway, and it's about 5/8 by 6. You'll have a scrap piece of Mossy Meadow to punch out your backing for your punch. You'll have a piece of Basic White to stamp your birthday wishes on, and you'll have 3 pieces of Designer Series paper. This is an inch wide by 3 inches, and then you'll have a backing piece of Mossy Meadow, and this is 1 1/4 by 3 1/4. And what we're going to do here, and I'll just show you this real quick, is we're going to take and mount our, sorry, I have to reach my glue, mount our Designer Series paper on this, and this is what's going to go on the front. And so we'll just real quick do this. We're having another extremely hot day in Colorado. We've had some hot weather, and now we're in another week stretch of it. Only supposed to be this week though, so I'm thinking that we got to be getting close to the time where 90 plus degrees, 90 and high 90-degree days are done. We haven't had very many triple-digit days, but we've had some. So you're going to have 3 of these, and you're going to mount them all like this. And for the sake of time, I just did a couple of them. So that's what we'll have on our front focal point. We'll get our stamping taken care of right now. We're going to use, as I said, our Mossy Meadow ink. We're going to use a stamp that says Birthday Wishes. And this stamp's really, I just inked my pad, so it's pretty dark, but it does lighten up a little bit. And then you'll take your 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece of basic white. Make sure you have the orientation right. Ask me how I know this, because I just threw away 3 that I stamped wrong. We're going to go long ways. This is a landscape card. Okay, and we will take our Let's Celebrate stamp. And we'll see how straight I can get it over here. Yeah, that's not too bad. And believe it or not, that's it for the stamping, so that didn't take very long at all. To this, we're going to take our scrap of Designer Series paper, and I'm just going to put some glue along the edge here. And glue this right even with the bottom. I do like to pick them up and kind of tap them. That way it lines it up on the bottom. We'll let that dry for a second. We'll take our, whoops, don't need the Kleenex. We'll take the Lost Lagoon piece, scrap piece, and we'll stamp out 1 punch. And we'll take our Birthday Wishes, and hopefully I didn't stamp it too high so I can get it lined up. And we're just going to kind of try to center it as best as our eye will let us and make sure it's as straight as we can get it. And I need to move this way a little bit. We're going to punch that out, and that's all we need to punch for. Then I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm going to cut this Lost Lagoon piece right in half. Or close to half, doesn't have to be exact. And again, I'm going to take my glue, and I'm just putting some along, at least I hope I am, along the edges here. And we're going to take our Birthday Wishes piece and put it on the Lost Lagoon, the half part, and glue it down, trying to get it straight, and I don't have that very straight. There we go. And you'll do the other side exactly the same way. Just a little bit of glue on your Lost Lagoon piece. Not clear to the top because you don't want glue showing. And we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it right here on the backing of that. Shh. That was my husband, excuse him. I don't have my door shut. I should have it shut. Give me just a moment and I will shut my door. Okay, there we go. Now, it's just a matter of putting everything together. So I will take our Lost Lagoon piece, the 4 by 5 1/4, and this is going to go across the front. Remembering our orientation is landscape, not portrait, because otherwise you'll be in trouble. And we will put this right here. Okay. Then we have our embossed piece of old olive, and we're going to put that on the front of the card. And try to get it in the center. You can make a mark if you want to, but I just kind of eyeball it because I don't think anybody I'm going to send this card two will be so critical to tell me, oh, you're a 1/16 of an inch off. Okay. And I think while we're at this, we'll just go ahead and get our inside layer down. And I see I've made a bit of a boo-boo. I always stamp my cards with my handmade stamp and I put it on the wrong side. So I'm going to be covering that up. I might put a piece of Designer Series paper on the inside. There's always ways to fix it. I could also just cut another piece of Mossy Meadow and stick right over it. So this is not a wasted card. Not saying that I've ever had some that are wasted. It's just the way it goes sometimes. Okay, there we go. All right. Now the other thing, only other two things we have to do is take our strips, and I decided to pop these up so they would lay more flat, because when you put it on top of the layers I have here, it kind of has a bump and I don't like that, so I'm going to put dimensionals, and then that way we won't see that raised by going over all the layers. And I just put 3 down the middle of it. That's more than enough to pop it up, and I don't think it'll make it too thick for just a normal stamp. And there's 3 on each strip. And we'll take your pick tool and take off the little backings. I like to take my pick tool, and that way I don't have dimensional backings everywhere that I don't want them. In my bathroom, in my bed. They can get everywhere. Stuck to my clothes. Gone to church with one on my sleeve once. So now when I'm doing 3 like this, I usually always put, oops, let me grab this off. Put the first one in the middle down first. And that way I can line the other ones up to it. And again, I'm just going to kind of guesstimate, use my eye. I don't have the best eye. I seem to always go a little bit too far to the right, but, and then I didn't want very much of a distance between them, so I'm going to stick it about like so on each side. It's very quick and easy card, actually. Even the cutting is not that involved. All right, now this I decided to lay down flat because I don't want it to get too fat from mailing and have to put extra postage in. So we are just going to stick this kind of in the middle. Then for the envelope, all I did is I had another piece of Designer Series paper. This is retired pattern that matched the Mossy Meadow that I put on the inside, and I just cut it and covered the outside flap. We've done that many times, so I didn't think you would need to see that to save us a little time on the video. So believe it or not, that is, oh no, I'm sorry, I always almost forget the dimensionals or the embellishments, and I don't know why. So you can put them wherever you want. I chose to put a couple of them on the ends of the greeting. And actually, this has 2 sizes. This is a smaller one. And then I'll use one of the larger ones. Hopefully I can get it up here. And I'm going to put it up here. As I've said many times, I always try to do odd numbers. It just seems to make your eye happier than doing just one or two. So here we go. Here's the one I just completed, and here's the one that I made as a sample. As always, if you're interested in any of these items, you may go to my online store at sherrymanny.stampinup.net and do a search for whatever you're looking for, and it'll pop right up. The dimensions and all the details and everything for this card and pictures will be on my blog at simplylovestampin.com sometime today. And I do have an email address of suaddicted@gmail.com if you have any questions. So thank you again for taking your most valuable time to spend a few minutes with me. I try to keep my videos fairly short. And I hope you all know, as I've said many times, how much I appreciate any views that you can give me. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. It does help me. May God bless each and every one of you, and I'll hopefully see you next week. Bye-bye.